And welcome everyone back to Chaos Child as we enter session number 4, and we have begun chapter 2 of the game as we continue to try to figure out what the heck's going on and solve this mystery. We're still very early in, so who knows exactly how it's all going to go. But how is everyone doing tonight? Welcome to Soulcaster, Boo Scary Helicopter, Rusty McTin, Brian FD, GCM of Chaos, Zacian, Soy Sauce Asian, Mito Green, Egg Roll, Jaden Buck, Lass, Loyal Dingo, Dark Tower, Sibidon, thank you so much for that tier 1 subscription. 23 months now. Thank you so much, saying good evening, everyone. And Cat Evie, thank you very much for the 100 bits, saying Cool Cat Press issue 32023. While doing some cleaning, I noticed a slinky flying from outside. Must mean that spring is in the air. Oh my god, that's good. Oh, goodness. And Alpha, thank you very much for your tier 1 subscription, saying good evening, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this one. But I'm going to go lurk and hide from the creepy horror game again. See ya. Yes, thank you for dropping in, Alpha. We should be starting your game tomorrow. You just have to finish up a little bit of Wario World and just jump right into Outer Wilds. I was going to make sure of that. Oh, Zacian, you get to see your brother tomorrow. That's awesome. Oh, wow. And Soy Sauce just reached chapter 600. You're way ahead of us now. Saying it's not your favorite story out there, but to be honest, it might be one of the most well-written and meticulously crafted I've seen. I think that's what it really draws people in. Just how well-crafted it is. And it just, yeah. So, I was thinking about this as far as our delusions and whatnot. And obviously, they are slowing the pace down a bit. Oh, I'm sorry that you'll end up missing it, Alpha, that they're game night for you, but at least we have the VODs. And Jason, thank you very much for your tier 1 subscription. 5 months now. Thank you so much. But yes, this is a decent sized game, but because I have to read it all, it takes a little bit longer. I'm wondering, rather than waiting for everybody to say good, bad, or whatever for it, I'm honestly thinking I might just go a rotation each time where good delusion, bad delusion, skip, or I could just straight up skip the entire time if we just want to get pure plot and not do all that. So yeah, and Gregster beat Octopath 2 today. Wow, I know that's a long one. Easily a Game of the Year candidate. I have reached Chapter 7 of Xenoblade. I am very happy about that. Yeah. I gotta sneeze, I'm sorry. I feel it coming. It's one of those. Excuse me. There we go. Egg Roll 300 bits saying, someone take the death's scythe from me. There you go. I hate one of those that you know your sneeze is coming and you can't get it out. So that was a relief. And yes, Loyal Dingo, I played a little bit of the I've reached the end of chapter 2. I have not been able to play it a lot. I typically play it at night once everybody's in bed and Amy's in bed, which only gives me about an hour to play. But I do want to play it. But with her streaming last night, me streaming tonight, and me having to stream tomorrow night, it's usually late enough that I'm like, well, I gotta get to bed because kid stuff. Also, we hit a level 1 hype train. Holy cow. So yeah. So there. Oh wow. Ending was so good. That's cool to hear that it actually does improve a lot upon Octopath, because I enjoyed Octopath, but there was definitely some issues regarding it. But yes, so I did see quite a few people say that we could probably just skip most of the delusions. I mean, we got a taste for it, and we want to keep going through. I've heard that I just saw Matt McMuscles tweet out today that the castle section is actually better in this game for them. So yeah, there's that's always cool. Eye appointment. Hopefully the eye appointment goes well, DGC. I mean, the final boss is also kind of an optional boss. It's not really a final boss. Alpha of Oblivion. I wanted to mention something you continue this visual novel. The series infamously has bad localization. Yeah, the Crows of the Grand, but should be able to follow and enjoy it. Yeah, I've definitely haven't had issue with any of that. So there's all that. Okay. Yeah, I've enjoyed when I played the first 2 chapters. Although I've definitely felt myself getting my butt kicked on a few occasions where I'm struggling. I feel like I'm struggling more than I did in the original, oddly enough. But yes, so, yeah. Then we'll try a session of skipping the other ones. Oh, the next entry is anonymous code for the first time in the series that have an English dub. Oh, that's awesome. And Cat Evie claiming death with 100 bits saying my scythe. Simply just need to complete all the stories and cross paths. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm playing it off Switch, so there is that. Oh, Rusty, I'm so happy that the Theater Rhythm video helped you with those missions. That's awesome to hear. I have put up, just in terms of other games, I have basically got to the point in Theater Rhythm where it's a bunch of feats that I just have left to do. But the feats left to do are the ones that are very grindy, like getting a bunch of characters up to certain levels and just getting certain bits. And I think the part that broke me is when I was trying to do the thing where you get above 9.8 million points for the various difficulty levels, and I was able to do it for easy, medium, and hard, but I tried the easiest of these very hard ones, and I failed so quickly. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to get all the feats anyway, so you know what, I've got my money's worth for now. I'll definitely come back to it as time goes on and more DLC comes out. But we can move on for now. And I have started Live Alive. I've started playing Live Alive while watching Kai now. I haven't played too much at this point. I've started with Imperial China and just got to the Retribution of Iron Fist. I'll just put it that way to keep it as just to keep it spoiler free. So that's where I'm at there. Anyway, we got some reading to do. Battle music of the prehistoric chapter. I mean, I'm liking the music, I'm liking the characters, so yeah. Alright. The place was as crowded and noisy as ever. Oh yeah, for just a recap, I believe the last thing we were doing was we spied on the girl, I forget her name off the top of my head, the girl that was in the hotel room, who we saw cooperating with the police, and got a bit more backstory on her, and we left at that point, but I forget why we came to Shibuya Station at this point. But I'm sure we'll get to it. The place was as crowded and noisy as ever. The footsteps of people rushing to the station to get home after work. The voices of people talking into their phones about where to meet for drinks. The screams of joy as old friends were reunited. It all blended together, and it all had an effect on anyone who passed through it, even for a moment. 6 years after the Shibuya quake, the city had been rebuilt to the point where there was nothing left to remind you of it. Everything was up and running again, until a few years ago, many people would stop and stare and wonder at how everything was new, but not anymore. The slogan of the restoration efforts, Shibuya, a city reborn, realm reborn, had such an effect on people that the past was beginning to be forgotten. At least for people who weren't in Shibuya during the earthquake. Just a 1 minute walk from the station, walk away from the station, was the Shibuya Earthquake Memorial. Kurisu made sure to visit once every week. She would put a flower down by the name of her best friend from elementary school and pray silently. Yeah, we're focusing more on Nono this time. Yeah, no, that sandwich encounter was definitely something. Egg roll. Sheesh. I have not gotten the chance to play Neo Soulcaster. I have quite the backlog, and I'm just picking and choosing through and trying to figure out the best idea. It was only a short distance from the heart of the city. I'm still trying to be, of course, I'm still just playing through Xenoblade. It was only a short distance from the heart of the city, but the noise and commotion didn't reach this place. This place was somberly constructed and pure, as if it wanted to be separated from all that. Today was October 6th. The quake was on November 6th, so this was the same day of the month. Maybe that's why there were so many flowers. Some of them were lying scattered on the ground. Oh, that's good artwork. There was no one around. Sometimes people would come at around 10:30 p.m. when the earthquake struck, but other than that, the place was mostly empty at night. Kurisu went around the area, grabbing up all the scattered flowers she could see and putting them on a nearby dais. Oh, thank you so much for the hype train, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, just in terms of games I got from Christmas, I have Horizon to play, Elden Ring to play, Triangle Strategy, Bayonetta 3, Harvestella, Dragon Quest Treasures, Live Alive, of which I'm starting on. I started Ryza at one point last year. I want to get back to that. Wouldn't mind seeing how that all goes. I am not at a loss of games to play eventually. She'd done it many times before. It was all part of her routine. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you want to send me checks so I can actually just spend all my time playing games, I'd love that. What do I do? Kurisu was thinking about what had happened a few days before and about her younger brother, Miyashiro. She'd heard it clearly. Hine Arimura had said those words to Miyashiro. He's gonna die, if you forget. So, but what she had said before was, his full name, Takaru Miyashiro, you are going to die. No, that was impossible. There was no way her brother was about to get caught up in something because of what he'd learned. A sudden wind blew the flowers out of her hand. They scattered away from her. All she could do was watch. For a moment, she tried to reach out and grab them, but her hand clawed uselessly at the air. Before the feelings overwhelmed her, she turned toward the place where her friend's name was carved. Hey. She rubbed it gently. The familiar sensation came to her through her fingers. What do I do? But the name, Senri Minamisawa, just echoed the question back to her. Yeah, I think I like it. It's rare for you to get such a good angle. Come on, man. Just so you know, that was a pain to put up. Did you hang it up somewhere? All right, they were putting a hidden camera to make sure they could see the location when the murder's supposed to happen. Just because they think the murders always happen around these stickers, so they're putting up a camera to watch. Oh, hey, Dark Adonis. Welcome. I support Derek becoming a full-time streamer and just playing through his backlog. Yeah, you have to donate a lot of money for that one. I definitely can't afford that. On some kind of metal pipe or something stuck along a wall. Backlog subathon win. I will never get through that backlog. Oh my god. That might be an interesting, just sort of like fun, dumb stream, is just to like show off my collection, at least of physical games. That'd be something. No, you mean a drain spout. It takes the rainwater that builds up on the roof and... No one cares. I use my own money to pay for the rubber bands I used to tie it up. Pay me back tomorrow. What? You're the one who decided to put it there. And this was your idea, President Miyashiro. Hey, don't ask about the ham sandwich. Derek plays the first hour of like 10 different games. There you go. Short video on my VOD channel for that? Maybe. It wouldn't be a short video, egg roll. Just so you know, we're all taking turns picking up the data. Fine. Anyway, it's really a pain to have to go there and pick it up. Couldn't you get the one that can transmit wirelessly? They're expensive. And if we try to do wireless from there all the way to Hekiho or this place, that'd be a huge pain. So what about you? Huh? Arimura, did you get to see her? I guess. It depends on how you look at it. I'll tell you tomorrow. I got some interesting information. What? Tell me now. That is a cut sound for some of these games. I guess that's true. It's almost time for Shibuya News broadcast. Huh? There's a broadcast today? You should have been more careful. You need to check everything up more carefully. It was at the very bottom of today's update, club member Ito. Shut up. He hung up on me angrily. Hung up on me angrily. I put the phone down and checked the time. About 5 more minutes. I opened Shibuya News and waited for the broadcast to start. After that, Arimura had waited about an hour before she'd come out of Cafe LAX. I thought about pretending to run into her, but I didn't want to go up to her too fast and have her find out I was listening. As I waited for the right moment, she got in a taxi and left. She was probably heading to the Shibuya police station for an interrogation. This was amazing. I wasn't able to talk to Arimura, but I knew I managed to get much more important information. There was a lot about their conversation I didn't understand, but I was right about one thing. The police were treating the incidents, or at least revolving dead, as murders. No, maybe not the police. That detective, Shinjo was it? He seemed to be acting separately from the rest of the police force. And he had some kind of secret about it that he had shared with Arimura. But more importantly than that, and more importantly than anything, the sticker he was talking about had to be the sumo sticker. From what he'd been saying, I was sure of it. And while he knew about the sumo stickers, he didn't seem to realize their importance. Maybe he hadn't realized they were at the other 2 crime scenes. Good. I really was one step ahead of the police. Once step ahead of the police, you know. This really is my big chance. If I kept it up, I might be able to learn more about the case than anyone else. More than the ignorant kids getting ready for the festival. More than the people who had to cling to the internet for information. More than even the police. More than Kawahara, the jerk who called me a pretend reporter. And more than the rest of the class who called me a camera kid. I'll show all those wrong-siders. This is that thought process is serial killer-ish. I'll show them all. It is now 12 a.m. October 7th, 2015. Welcome everyone. I'm Kay, your host. I also just noticed something here that is incredibly inaccurate. If you look at the bottom right of the screen where the sound is muted, yet somehow he's listening to the music right now. What the hell? I'm kidding. Who cares? Shibuya News Net Radio started just like it had said it would. Kay's voice was as pleasant and clear as ever in my head. The last broadcast was after the Love Hotel incident, so it would have been September 30th. It had been about a week. Boycott, right. That awful muggy heat is finally going away, isn't it? If the news is right, the temperature should be good for a while. I hope you're all enjoying the weather. As I listened to her voice read out all the latest information from Shibuya, I grabbed a magazine off a cabinet shelf. Oh god. It was a back issue of Cool Cat Press that I'd bought, or rather been forced to buy from Gen. Just like with Kei's broadcast, it had been a while since I'd spent any time with this. I paged through it looking for an interesting article. It was still mostly junk. 10 ways to make your ideal girl like you, how to tell your ideal girl you like her, what to say to your ideal girl to get her into your bed, etc. There were a lot of articles that were of no interest to me whatsoever. Nope, none at all. As I carefully read through these articles, which did not interest me at all, right, I found a small section in the back that was something a little different. Rorschach I have trouble with my R's. Rorschach will reveal her naked heart. How to know exactly what she's thinking. The article consisted of strange symmetrical drawings in black ink, along with commentary from a psychoanalyst about what each said about your personality. Or at least, it was someone who claimed to be a psychoanalyst. And at the very end, there were even diagrams on how to use these pictures to see how popular you were or how compatible you were with a certain girl. This magazine's got everything, doesn't it? I whispered it to myself. The Rorschach test was a famous personality test. The test involved pouring black and red ink down a folded card and spreading it out to create a strange symmetrical shape. Different people would see the shape as a dog's head or a man and woman kissing, and what you saw told you about your personality. But the idea of using it to determine your popularity or your compatibility with a certain girl was just so stupid I had to laugh. This one's a sheep, huh? Let me see. If you saw this as a fur-covered animal like a sheep, you have a strong urge to hide your real desires. Girls say they don't know what you're thinking and are cautious around you. Your popularity rating is 20 out of 100. You know, that seems actually pretty accurate. Huh? I snapped back to my senses. That was close. I almost did the whole test. I tossed the magazine on my desk. And then, as if she'd been waiting for me to finish, Kei's voice became a little more serious. Now then, we've gone over a lot of the happenings in Shibuya today, but it's time to get to the point. I'm holding this broadcast today because I wanted to introduce you to a certain article. The point? What article was she talking about? I listened intently to Kei's words. The article is about something I talk about quite a lot on my site and during these broadcasts. That's right, the strange incidents that are happening in Shibuya right now. Why are they showing this? Just revealed that the girl that is helping, the cop that was assigned to him and called him an idiot and whatnot is definitely the same as Kei-san. That's a bummer of a reveal. I would have actually been pretty surprised. Well, I guess I am surprised, but, you know, more surprising if it'd been, you know, properly introduced. I've told you before that these events are occurring on the same dates as the New Generation Madness, but this video points out another thing they have in common. What? Had someone other than us noticed? This is the address. I clicked the link she posted immediately after I saw it. It was an address for a Nico Neo video. The few seconds it took to load felt like an eternity. There it is. Huh? Huh? I saw the thumbnail for the video and quickly turned away. And then I grabbed my phone. Onoe, are you listening to the Shibuya News? Watch it now. She's reporting on our video. October 7th, 2015, Wednesday. Oh god. Sakura Gaokacho Shibuya. That's a lot of words. Trustworthiness investigation company Frisia. That's all for tonight. Ah, yes, Mio. Thank you for listening in. This has been your host, Kay. It will soon be 12:22 a.m. on October 7th. I pray you spend tomorrow in a way you won't regret. Kunosato gave her usual sign-off and ended the broadcast. She stretched expansively, her shoulders cracking as the stretch passed through her entire body. She knew that acting like a proper lady was the way to get listeners for these guerrilla radio broadcasts, but it still felt like she was taking things too far. After almost 100 times, she was used to it, but she'd never finished a broadcast without feeling exhausted. Hi, Key Apprentice. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. What? Nothing. Ah, we finally get to see Katsuko. Or Momose. Good work, Mio. Want some coffee? That design kind of reminds me of a Miyazaki design. Like one of the older mom types of like a Ghibli movie. Shinjo watched, stunned, as Mio leaned back in her chair, crossed her legs, and accepted a coffee from Momose. Yeah, like Kiki's delivery service. That's a good way to put it, Kia. First, Arimura this afternoon, and now this. What's going on with young girls these days? She sure didn't look like a girl who'd been speaking into a computer microphone with a pleasant voice just a moment ago. He knew this was what she was really... He knew this was what she was really like, but... Huh? Her eyes met with his. What were you doing just now? Now, Alpha says, Frisia is a returning location from Chaos Head. All you need to know is that Momose is an information broker, and she has experience in the previous New Gen Madness case and related to events. Yeah, I kind of got that sense, so good to know. Thank you, Alpha. Broadcasting information. What else? That made no sense. Broadcasting information? Well, I can understand why it might not make sense to Shinjo. Momose glanced over at Kunosato. Mio is one of our best information brokers. Her day job is being a scientist, though. Huh? At her age. That's right. She's a genius who skipped several grades to go work at an American lab. I'm just talented. Real geniuses are on a whole different level altogether. You mean the girl who was helping you, the one you talk to on the phone all the time? I mean the girl who was helping you, the one you talk to on the phone all the time? Kunosato nodded and started to massage her tired shoulders. He'd had no idea. He thought she was pretty grown up for a 17-year-old, but... What do you research? Does my personal data have anything to do with the case? No, but... It's right here. Momose pointed at Shinjo's head. The head? The brain. She's a special researcher in the field of quantum brain dynamics. Okay, I'm gonna need I don't know that one. Missing some nuance stuff. This is one of the least problematic localizations. Wow. The name given to a scientific field that attempts to explain brain activity, particularly human consciousness, from a quantum mechanical perspective. There you go. And we knew Rorschach. Excuse me. Like I said, I talk a lot for these sort of things, and I can't help but yawn a little bit. What's she doing at Hekiho? Hekiho is located in Shibuya, and it's the perfect place to research Chaos Child Syndrome, right? Can we get to the point? Without waiting for Shinjo or Momose to agree, she continued. Did Arimura have anything to say about the sumo stickers? She's not very polite to me. He sighed to himself. No, I don't know why you care, but all she said was that she found them creepy. Are you sure? Yeah, why do you care so much? Come to think of it, you were just saying something about the stickers, weren't you? He thought back to how different Kunisato's voice was when she was on the radio. What were you doing? I told you, broadcasting information. Why don't you give him a real explanation? Why don't you give him a real explanation? You're going to be working with him until the case is solved, after all. Kunisato didn't bother to hide her displeasure at Momose's interruption. It's give and take, right? Oh, I got my water. I think there's a shortcut button for looking at tips. If you look at help in the menu, you should be able to see the buttons. I don't know if I do. Show backlog, auto mode, open. I don't see it. I hope there's at least something of value for me to take. That was enough to piss Shinjo off. Listen, you need to learn to respect your elders. Do you know what this year's study said about media usage rates? Huh? 70% of people get their news from the internet. For teenagers, it's 80%. For those in their 20s and 30s, it's 90%. In all cases, it's a higher percentage than gets their news from TV. If you limit yourself to urban areas only, the percentages are even higher. Less than 10% of people in their teens and 20s read a daily newspaper. That figure hasn't changed much in the last 2 years. Over half of middle school students have a smartphone. 95% of high school kids do. And if you have a smartphone, you're using the internet. Wait, what are you talking about? How many people do you think rely solely on the internet for their information? Kunosato suddenly stood up and brought over the mobile PC she'd been using to stream. She opened something on the screen for Shinjo to see. It was the homepage of a major newspaper dated yesterday. There was an article about a Shibuya resident suing Koshin for invasion of privacy. I caused this.
Huh?
One of the members of a group opposed to the surveillance society is a tweeter addict. I made a bunch of similar accounts and homepages, each of which looked like it was created by a different person. Then I pointed them to favorable judicial precedents to make it look like a bunch of people were telling him he was a victim. Since he still seemed reluctant, over the weekend I recorded some rude behavior by someone at Koshin and got the whole internet mad about it. And the result was this, she said as she tapped the PC. Oh, Key, you're playing through Persona 4 right now. Nice. I don't know if the 3DS Wii U eShop died or not. I haven't picked up anything new just because I, got what I could before, so I'm all tapped. No way. When a person relies on the internet for their information, they'll accept any offline source that confirms their natural biases. I'd be willing to bet that he never read anything about the relevant case law besides what I pointed out to him. Not that I've ever seen his face, Kunosato continued. The way she spoke alone was enough to make Shinjo believe she was telling the truth. Why would you do something like that? Momose told you that Koshin is probably up to something, right? I agree. So I'm trying to damage their public image as much as possible. And what I want now is information on the sumo stickers. The screen was indeed showing a picture of the sumo sticker. And then the Hekiho Academy Newspaper Club? Shinjo's gaze landed on a phrase in the video's introduction. Wasn't that where those kids who snuck into the Love Hotel went? I told them not to get involved. His tone was irritated as he remembered the faces of the boy and the girl. Kunosato, however, seemed to find it rather entertaining. They're pretty perceptive. I intend to take advantage of that where I can. I love how she's just manipulating them. That's good. In the next, let's say 12 hours, this video is going to be flooded with information on the sumo stickers. Soy sauce. An interesting contrast between Mio and Takaru. Takaru, who looks up to Kei Mio, who, based on what we've seen, is knowledgeable with information and looks down towards others, just like Takaru. The major difference is that Mio actually has a career and backs her attitude up when speaking with others and is helpful in her actual job. On the other hand, Takaru's condescension is internalized, and he pathetically backs down when others confront him about his problematic attitude, mainly Nono. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, she has to be forced into it, but she is helpful at least. Huh? That was why I spread the information during my broadcast. After what she just told him about her dealings with Koshin, he couldn't help but believe her. What is it, Shinjo? Nothing. He realized that he must have been looking at Momose for an answer. Just who was this girl? Oh no, Shinjo, you can't try and seduce Mio. What the hell? What are you talking about? He felt his cheeks turn red at this entirely unexpected response. No, I'm not blushing because you guessed what I was thinking. I know that. You've got a long ways to go. Arimura hasn't found any more like her, right? Kunosato interrupted. Yeah, that's what she said. Which means the only person we know about who's a potential target is Arimura herself. And we don't know why, but it'll probably take place on October 10th. Yeah. October 10th, the date of the vampire incident 6 years ago. If we have to, we can use her to set a trap. Not that we know for sure she's a target, but... What? We can't do that. Shinjo slammed his fist down on the desk and glared at Kunosato. That was going too far, even for him. But... Instead of getting scared, Kunosato glared back at him with an expression he'd never seen before. Her face was cold and dangerous, like the blade of a knife. She looked more like one of the people he'd arrested than anyone he'd saved. You're helping me solve this case, right? Just so we're clear, when I need you to follow my orders, you will. I love how Shinjo is like, I'm a renegade who doesn't really go with my superiors and think outside the box and all that stuff. And he gets introduced to this girl and he's still so by the book on a lot of things. He's like, nah, Shinjo, you are not as good as you think. And just so we're clear, Kunosato put her hands on the desk and drew closer to him. The person in the world I want most to kill is the one behind these incidents. And after that, it's Arimura and her ilk. She wants to kill Arimura? What? Wait, why does she want to kill Arimura? What a pain. Yeah. Ito whispered as he turned the camera around the room, and I wholeheartedly agreed. We were in our classroom after school. Yeah, right, just a guy. Very much escalated quickly. The Culture Festival was just 3 days away, and from this afternoon until the day of the event, classes were canceled to allow more time for the preparations. The rest of the class must have been getting excited because they were making even more noise than usual as they started moving around desks and furniture. Since this marked the start of the real preparations for the Culture Festival, the newspaper club needed to go around and take more footage for the rest of the school. We'd been on our feet all afternoon. I didn't have time for this right now. Oh yeah? Yeah, this is my first exposure as well, Kia, so I'm completely in the dark, and definitely worth watching the VODs on the YouTube channel if you haven't seen it before. What a nuisance. Yeah. Ito whispered as he saw the group glancing at us from a corner of the classroom. What? Seriously? That's pathetic. So those guys upload stuff to Nico Nia? Really? How sad do you have to be to rip off someone else's work? We didn't rip off anybody. Damn those wrong-siders. Didn't they look at the timestamp? You know, I didn't realize they all watched Nico Nia that so much. Our class's exhibit for the Culture Festival is a Gero Froggy Cafe, right? Huh? Yeah. It was an article by that Watabe guy that made Gero Froggy get popular again. So a lot of them know who Watabe was. Is that why? Ito sighed again. He was probably getting sick of the glances and whispers he'd been getting since lunchtime. So was I. Ugh. Hey, Horizon Brave. Miyashiro. What? The look on Kawahara's face said, I have better things to do than waste time with you right now. How far are you with the footage of the preparations at the Culture Festival? Whew, so that's all he wanted to talk about? Well, yeah, how was I supposed to answer that? We were just recording video, so there really was no point when it was finished. So there really was no point when it was finished. And please stop looking at me like that. What? How far are you? Oh, well... Stuff's coming along fine. Is there an issue? Someone suggested it might look nice if we have the video of the preparations playing in the background during the closing ceremony. Can you get that ready? Ito put his hand on my shoulder. Sure can, right? Yeah, probably. You heard him. Alright, we'll go over the details tomorrow. Huh? Wait a second. I found myself speaking to Kawahara as he turned to leave. I don't have time for... What? No, nothing. Kawahara looked irritated that I'd stopped him. Let's go, Kurisu. Kurisu? Kurisu seemed to be thinking about something. It wasn't clear if she heard him or not. And suddenly she looked at me. Takaru? What? For once, Kurisu seemed uncertain about what to say. Come to think of it, this was the first time I talked to her since the incident with Arimura. Come with me. Huh? Wait. Hey, Kobama. How you doing? She dragged me out of the corner of an empty hallway. I shook her hand off my arm. What? What's wrong? Kurisu cradled the hand I'd shaken off protectively. Have you met Arimura since then? Since then? You mean since we met in the student council room? She nodded. No, I haven't. That wasn't a lie. I hadn't spoken to her directly, after all. I see. What? Is there something wrong with Arimura? Kurisu remained silent, her lips pressed into a thin line. And then... You uploaded a video about those cases, right? Delete it. Now. Had she been checking our page? And give up on the case too. You learned your lesson with the Love Hotel, didn't you? You're now sentenced to anime girl, be gone. Delete this, yeah. It's true that the police took me into custody, but they didn't... Something really bad could happen to you. There was something different about the way she talked. Her whole personality was different than usual. It wasn't as forceful. She was lecturing me, but instead of looking me in the eye, she was cradling her arm. It was as if she was speaking to herself, not to me. For the first time since I'd left the orphanage, I thought I might be able to win an argument with her. I'm not doing anything dangerous. That video I uploaded was just what the newspaper club normally does, right? A lot of people are watching that video now. I'm not like those people who can only write comments about it. Are you still talking about that? You're not a kid anymore. I'm going to the club room. If you're heading back to the classroom, tell Ito I'll be waiting for him. I turned around without waiting for her answer. When I got a good distance away, she said, Takaru, you aren't any different from anyone else. You're just a teenage boy. Her voice wasn't as strong as usual, but there was no trace of anything like kindness in it either. Tell this idiot off. Seriously. He thinks he's so superior. I didn't stop walking. A minute later, Ito ran up to me and we walked to the club room together. Ito asked me if something had happened, but I told him that wasn't the case. Oh, you're finally here. You're late, guys. Sorry, what's going on? We just broke 100,000 and there's over 5,000 comments. Alright, my knowledge of YouTube, being what it is, they should have way more views than 100,000 for 5,000 comments. For comparison's sake, real quick. For comparison's sake, let me see here. I'm bringing it up now. Let's bring it up. So, my Shin Megami Tensei, maybe they could have bought it their comment section, but just for comparison's sake, if there's that many comments, my SMT video retrospective has 687,000 views right now. It has 1,000 comments. So, yeah. Let me go to a Scott the Woz video. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's one with 2.5 million. 2.5 million views on Scott the Woz. 4,000 comments. Granted, they could definitely be discussing and whatnot, but that's still like, ooh. It just feels like there should be way more views for that many comments. Huh? You're serious? Ito raced over to the PC that Sarika was looking at. You're serious? Hey, Miyashiro. Calm down. 100,000 isn't that big a number. You're shaking, man. Shut up. She's right. We broke 100,000. Yesterday the video only had 5 views, and now it had over 100,000. Actually, it was getting close to 110,000. Seriously? The cause was obvious. It was the Nico Nia news video that had been updated this morning. What about the comments on Watabe's article? When I looked before, there was a big flame war going on. Sarika opened the page. Yep, still is. 1 out of every 3 or 4 comments on the article was criticizing it. I took a quick look at them. Most of them are fakers. The comments are linked to Twitter, so I'm seeing stuff from people who didn't even look at the article. Fakers? The YouTube algorithm is the real villain. I mean, it's just funny to me. Somebody who works on YouTube just see that. It could be a translation error, Soulcaster. It's completely possible. A word invented by Miyashiro, of course it is, refers to someone who brags about knowing information easily available with a simple internet search, who writes comments with inaccurate information and pretends to be a right-sider. In Miyashiro's mind, their words are no different than meaningless scribblings, and he considers all fakers to be wrong-siders. Oh my god, him and these wrong-siders. It was this morning when we realized that something was going on with the view count on the video we uploaded. After Shibuya News had linked to it, the views had gone up to almost 10,000 overnight. That in itself was a big deal. It was getting views faster than any video in the club's history. But this was to be expected. Kei had a lot of followers. After the broadcast had ended at around midnight, Ito, Sarika, and I had gotten excited and quickly got in touch on our smartphones. We stayed up until close to dawn watching the number go up. But just before noon, it had really started to climb. Just as we decided to see where these new viewers were coming from, we noticed a comment on the video saying, "I came from Watabe's article." This was the article they were referring to. Nikoniya's web reporter Watabe had figured out that the sumo stickers were being placed near the crime scenes, and he had a never before seen photo of the room at the Love Hotel from the Revolving Dead incident. And in that photo, I was the first one to find it. Watabe had realized that the photo contained a sumo sticker and that the other crime scenes had sumo stickers nearby as well. He had written up his findings in an article and published it. The delicious crab is a lie. Nice. And as a result, people had come over to our video that discussed the same topic. 100,000 is a new record, right? The Vice President's video on the Shibuya restoration got 50,000, and that was our old record. Yeah, that's true, but it's not just the content of the article itself. It's more that so many people are claiming that Watabe ripped us off. Come on, dude, still 100,000 is 100,000, and in so little time, we're getting tons of comments too. Well, that's true. Still, it was hard for me to be happy. The reason we were getting so many views and comments was that the contents of Watabe's article were so similar to ours. Not many viewers seemed to think that we were amateurs who just happened to put something together similar to Nikoniya News. A lot of people were enjoying the scandal of Watabe, the up-and-coming reporter, plagiarizing an amateur video. It was true that we uploaded our video before Watabe. That was obvious from the timestamps. Well, some of our classmates seemed to think that we had ripped off Watabe, though. It's like flame war marketing. Sorry, I need to rehydrate. I can feel my lips getting dry. Huh? This article Watabe wrote. I don't know if he really ripped us off, but... No, that can't be right. Can it? Even a web journalist wouldn't deliberately plagiarize an amateur video as a marketing stunt. There's some. Depends on the person. By the way, I hate seafood. I am not into seafood whatsoever. I can have like a single crab cake and maybe enjoy it, but then I have a second one. It's like, The closest to seafood I can have is those special soft pretzels that have cheese and crab meat on top of it. That's pretty good, but it helps that they have the pretzel there. Nope, not even just fish. I can't do it. I've been able to manage sushi nowadays, but for the most part, I just don't like the texture and just no, not for me. And Watabe doesn't need to do that anyway. He's plenty popular already after all the stories he's broken. And we only uploaded our video 2 days ago, right? And barely anyone saw it. It only got taken up by Shibuya News this morning. This article clearly wasn't written in a few hours. Yeah, that's true too, but something still bothered me. There were several conditions that had to be met before a flame war to really take off. Two of the biggest were a famous person had to be the target, and that the mainstream media had to get involved. Just having our video picked up by Shibuya News was a first for us. What were the odds that the perfect fodder for an epic flame war would get posted at the exact same time? There's no point in thinking about it, is there? So Mio totally set this up and probably got in contact with Watabe in order to do a flame war marketing type thing to get more information. Theoretically. Ito said as he watched me mumble to myself. Let's see if any of the viewer comments have anything useful in them. See? People are talking about the sumo stickers. Hey, Miyashiro, this is our chance, right? Ito seemed unable to contain his excitement. Actually, you seem really excited about this. Huh? Do I? Shin's last video didn't get over 100 views after all. Ito's face suddenly went red. That's not the issue here. Was that why? Don't look. Come on, we lost some time because of the culture festival, so let's get started, Kazuki. Ugh, looks so gross. Up. We got our delusion. The hell kind of delusion could be involved in this? Let's see. Soulcaster asked a question that Soy Sauce responded to. More visual novels? Definitely. Well, Danganronpa's next. Is 13 Sentinels a visual novel? I didn't realize. Alright. So, decision time. Are we skipping these are we skipping these or are we doing my other method of positive negative skip? Ton of water for Super Robot Wars. I guess that's true. I'm seeing one for positive, one for Doom, one for skip, one for negative. Okay. Cool. And we're skipping it for now. That should make the progress a bit quicker, so I don't have to look like, what's everybody want? Positive or negative? Kazuki looked up from her game. She'd been totally ignoring all of this. Print out some of the images from Watabe's article. I don't even know what the positive or negative would be. Probably just like hate on us or like, you know. Yeah. And yeah, it does not matter for the ending since we're not going for the true ending. We're just doing a single playthrough. Ito took them and stood in front of the board. He started to put them up. His face was still red. He glared at the images as he looked for a spot to put them. Come on, check the video. Or Ito could scream at us again. Well, whatever. If he thinks he's fooling me like that, then I'll let him think that. No delusion. Yeah, it probably would have been that involved in that. Ugh. I still felt sick. Skip past the thumbnail. Okay, I don't like it either. She skipped past the image of the sumo sticker and started to scroll through just the comments. Don't rip off Watabe. No, this one was really uploaded first. We are the victims of the mainstream media. You can ignore that debate. Grab for anything with the word sticker in it. Okay. Okay. I'm not seeing anything useful. One guy was calling it the Fatso sticker, another was saying sumo sticker is my waifu. Most of the comments were talking about Watabe's article, not the content of the video. It had turned into a full-scale war over the honor of Nikonia News. Sarika must have been getting annoyed with it too because she started to use her free hand to play with her Gero Froggy strap. But a moment later, her hand froze. Huh? What's this? The sumo stickers were made by Kalex, you wrong-sider morons, it says. You're the wrong-sider moron. Sure, there was a theory on the internet that an artist was named Kalex, that an artist named Kalex was behind the stickers, but no one had ever found any proof. They'd probably just read the title or the first few lines of an article somewhere that said Kalex was the artist who created the stickers and was never given it any more thought. What's this address? There was a URL among the comments that was pasted with no explanation whatsoever. Should I click on that? Give me a second. I took a look at the letters in the address. And right, Vito, you never read the comments. Never. Well, wrong. You can get away with reading the comments for the first 2 days. After that, run. It's just an Amberblog address, yeah. I wasn't sure, but it didn't look like a very dangerous page. Okay. Okay. A moment later, I was staring at a page with an ugly, garish background. I looked away from the sumo sticker that was its hit counter. What is this place? Serika clicked through the links on the page. Looks like it's a page about the sumo stickers. It must have been a lot of work to get all these. Was this from before the earthquake? It does say 2014. Serika must have still been bothered by the stickers, because before she said anything, she scrolled down to the text-only part of the page. The eye in the sticker sees disaster coming and acts to prevent it. The prophecy of humanity's destruction in 2015 was averted by the stickers, though there was still some damage. The prophecy of humanity's destruction in 2015? Does he mean the Egyptian apocalypse? Oh my god. I'm amazed you knew what he was talking about. Everyone knows that. Oh, shut up, Miyashiro. I read further down the page and saw that he considered the crash of 15 to be part of the prophecy. Excuse me. And said the stickers have saved for humanity. Holy crap. I do remember that, Jacob. It was really dumb. Oh, God. Eyes are watering. Between the text and his choice in colors, the guy who made this page isn't right in the head. Come to think of it, the crash wasn't that big a deal in Shibuya, was it? Did the sumo stickers protect against solar storms or something? Idiot, why would you believe that? Shibuya wasn't hit bad because the restoration project provided for protection against solar storms. This is just the barrier theory. The barrier theory? How could she forget that? A long time ago, we spent a lot of time looking into this. The theory says that since sumo wrestling was originally a Shinto religious rite, the stickers have some religious meaning. It says that they form a barrier. What kind of religious meaning? Crap, I didn't know. Anyway, the barrier theory is nonsense. They're called sumo stickers, but there's no evidence that they're actually supposed to be a sumo wrestler. Good. I guess I fooled her. What's this, Taku? What? I know the answer. You know who created them? Huh? This. Serika said as she pointed to a page about the creator of the sumo stickers. No, I was mistaken. Keep going. Huh. I'm reading, glancing through the article, and they're saying how Kalex was not the creator of the sumo stickers. That background was using the nastiest colors I'd ever seen. My eyes were starting to hurt. What's this? The creator of the sumo stickers is not, as many people seem to think, Kalex. Between this and the sheer number of sumo sticker photos, it was clear that the page's author was a little crazy, but had done their homework. The creator of the stickers was sacrificed to the rest of humanity in order to build the barrier. No, maybe more than a little crazy. They were totally nuts. I hadn't read a page like this in a while. This creator... I stopped scrolling down the page. Look! Her voice was shaking a little as she pointed at the screen. Is inside A.H. General Hospital. Taku. I knew what she was trying to say. I could see Serika's shock out of the corner of my eye, but I couldn't take my eyes off the words A.H. Tokyo General Hospital. That was the hospital. That was the hospital I'd snuck into with Serika in elementary school, the one I saw in my dreams all the time. Oh. Ooh. Later, Kia. Thanks for joining. Hey, Miyashiro. Miyashiro. What? I am Groot. Kazuki stuck her face in front of the display from the side and pointed toward Ito. What? This is nuts. Ito was staring at the board as he whispered. Then he walked straight up to it. I knew it. Hey, look at this. He pointed towards the pictures that were stuck up on the board. What is it? I tried to hide my shock at what I'd just seen, but my voice was quivering. Ito was completely ignoring me. He ripped off a few of the pictures. And stuck them back up. What did he just see? The huge number of sumo stickers and then the long distance shots of the ones found at the crime scenes? Look here. Oh boy. I could tell that Ito and Serika turned to look at me when I laughed. I thought back to the conversation I just had with Kurisu. Something terrible might happen? I would keep going anyway. I would probably keep going all the way. Because I wasn't just an ordinary teenage boy. Okay, what do you see? Oh, that's a good hook. 8 p.m. Tomigaya Shibuya. Getting close to that October the 10th. I'm not like other boys. Alba Clinic. A 2-minute walk from Yoyogi Park Station. This private clinic, 20 minutes away from the heart of Shibuya, was loved by the locals for its homey, comfortable atmosphere. The clinic offered internal and pediatric medical services. It had no facilities to allow someone to stay overnight. The wait was 10 minutes at worst. Some days it was more common to find the director's drinking buddies there telling bawdy jokes than it was to find patients. The only full-time doctor was the clinic's director. He had 2 nurses. The only times it ever got busy were during flu shot season and when the director's neighborhood baseball team had its annual tournament. Strange. If it's not here. The clinic's second floor. This floor, with its living room, kitchen, and bath, and the third floor with the rooms for the children, formed the localized small-scale children's welfare facility named Alba Dormitory. There was no sign identifying it outside, so if you just walked by the building, you'd have no way of knowing that the upper floors were an orphanage. Ow, this really stings. It's not here either. Hey, Nono. Just a little more. No, where's the medicine? Ow! Wataru Sakuma, the director of the Alba Clinic and Alba Dormitory, looked at dinner lined up at the table and froze. Boiled vegetables, white fish with plum, tofu hamburg steak, natto, rolled omelette with shiso leaves. The oldest girl at the dorm had been in charge of cooking ever since she came here when she was in 6th grade. Every year, she started cooking more and more like an old woman. Listen, you're not a grandmother. Cook some meat. You can ask for meat after you get rid of all that meat around your stomach. I don't want to be in charge of keeping your blood pressure down once you get old. We've got growing kids in this family. Ah, oh, damn it. Got all those frames. Are we dropping frames? Oh my god, we are dropping frames. What the heck? Okay. We are back once again. I've updated OBS. I've checked the speed test once again. It theoretically should be good, but for whatever reason, within a minute, it usually goes bad. So we're going to give it a minute and see what happens, because all I do is update, and we're dropping frames. Yep, only 30 so far. Okay. Maybe it's only a little hiccup. Let's hope. Okay. It stuck to just those. That's a good sign. Because usually at this point it would be just like almost like a counter, just constantly raising up and getting worse and worse. Alright. I think we're good. Okay. I think we're solid. I think we're good. Sorry for all that. That was a ordeal and a half trying to get all that fixed. So, when we left off, we, I think, changed scenes. So I just dropped a few more frames, but it seems like it's only an occasional thing. Ugh, we'll see. Anyway, we changed scenes to the clinic where the orphanage that Nono stays at is part of, got introduced to the doctor, sort of setting the stage for it, that sort of thing. And we met Wataru Sakuma, who is the doctor who runs this orphanage. And we've also learned that Nono has been cooking ever since she came here when she was in the 6th grade. And each time, as time goes on, she keeps cooking more and more like an old woman. Making tonight boiled vegetables, white fish with plum, tofu hamburg steak, natto, and rolled omelet with shiso leaves. And this guy just wants some meat. So, but she's doing it for his health. She's doing it for his health. Alright. Sakuma pressed his hands up against his temples and rubbed them. Just trying to get the mic here. What's wrong? I can't find the loxoprofen. Do you know where it is? What? Do you have a headache? Yeah. I think... Wait a second. Do you have a hangover? Sakuma moaned a little. Kurisu smiled gently at him, still holding the kitchen knife. Dad, it's bad enough for you that you, the head of this household and director of the clinic, are asking me where the medicine is when I'm not even a nurse trainee. But you're telling me you have a hangover. Were you drinking when I was finishing up the paperwork last night? No, I was working too. Then you were drinking during work, I see. I don't have any medicine to give the drunks. And also, no drinking for a week. Huh? Hey, no, you're kidding. Might have been an update problem. I have no idea what it was, Eggroll. I just did everything I could and just hoped that at one point it would go through. It's all done. Call the two of them. Thank you. That was very good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Oh, they're cute. I'll make some tea. You, help me. Yes, you. There. Her little brother nodded, and together they took the plates the four of them had been eating on to the kitchen. It was their job to clean up. Yui Tachibana and Yuto Tachibana were brother and sister. They were the only two siblings at the Awa dorm who were actually related by blood, and the rest of the neighborhood thought it was cute how they were always together. The Shibuya earthquake had occurred when Yui was in 2nd grade, and Yuto was only 6 and hadn't started school. After the earthquake, the two of them had come to Alba dorm. The two of them had been depressed for a long time between the shock of losing their parents and their experiences in the earthquake's aftermath. Now they made it to the 2nd year of middle school for Yui and the last year of elementary school for Yuto. No, you can eat dinner without me tomorrow. During the meal, Sakuma had complained about Nono's ban on his drinking, but Yui had told him he'd brought it on himself. He'd spent the rest of dinner muttering to himself, but by now he'd calmed down a little. I've been so busy lately, you see. No, it's a pain to warm it up again, and I don't like it when everybody eats separately. I want us all to eat as a family as much as possible. But why are you so busy? Yeah, it seems like we dropped frames on occasion, but nothing major, that's for sure. Kurisu checked the clock as she spoke. It was almost 9. Alba Clinic closed at 6:30 p.m., and it was often after 7 p.m. by the time Sakuma finished his paperwork and came up the stairs. Kurisu would have dinner ready around that time. But it was true that lately he'd been coming up later and later. Sakuma shrugged and said he wasn't sure why exactly, but the clinic one of my old university buddies runs in Shibuya is busy too, and the big hospitals around here like Tokyo General Hospital and Yoyogi, for instance, have also been really busy lately. Nono? Oh, sorry, and? Well, there are a lot of theories. Some people say it's because people are excited for the festival and hurting themselves. Others say it's because they're starting to look into that syndrome again. They're looking into it again after 6 years? The only thing that's really fixed is the town's exterior. You can't fix what's in here so easily. Sakuma patted himself on the chest. My patients are the same as ever, but my old classmates and the other people I know are sending me a lot of people. It's making my shoulders really stiff. As her father rotated his shoulders to stretch them, Nono told him he was doing a good job. He normally looked like a goofball, but Kurisu knew that he was reliable when it counted. Alba Clinic was far enough from Shibuya that it hadn't been damaged during the quake, and so it had remained open. She heard that Sakuma had taken in patients with minor wounds, a field that was outside his specialty, and treated them. Thanks, Blade Blur. we're trying to get through this. I look over on occasion, I see a few drop frames, but I think it's hanging in there for the most part. When she helped at the clinic's front desk, the patients would often tell her grateful tales about what he'd done then. What's with this pear? It was on sale at Parlor Nishino. Let's eat. Yui and Yudo had come back from the kitchen with tea and a sliced pear. She stuck a toothpick in a slice as she spoke. It's so sweet and good. Oh, Yui, did you buy some ponzu? It's as cheap as it gets today, right? Yep, the sale's limited to one per person, so I took you and we bought two. Oh, right. They say our usual supermarket's changing the hours for its time sales. No way. It's going to be an hour later, they say. That's a problem. How should we handle dinner shopping then? Oh, we're almost out of bath soap, the one with the white package. I'm waiting for the weekend sale. Where at? Aoki Pharmacy. I've got a coupon. Really? That's great. Lon, thank you very much for the raid. Good, interesting timing, but also mainly because we've been having some internet issues, and I've noticed that the drop frames are starting to go up. Oh, you were playing Final Fantasy XIV. Nice. Hopefully that all went well. He had some fun. I'm just keeping an eye on our frames at the moment, making sure it's not doing it anymore. And yes, we are having dinner conversations as we go through this. We got an interesting revelation, and all of a sudden we're in family life. So there's that. Yeah, okay. So for now, it seems like it's stabilizing all right. But yeah, it's definitely still dropping frames here and there, which is quite annoying. I don't know why it's doing that. Thankfully, it's not as noticeable because it's not exactly an action-packed game. We'll see. Oh, did you see the veranda? The corner where we hang the laundry. Huh? What? There's mold. And? If we don't do something, we'll eventually get red mites. No! I don't want that either. Actually, I want it less than anyone. What is your problem? Does your throat hurt? Do you have a cold? How is that possible? You're a doctor, right? Just remember that it's our job to take care of you, right? Doing the laundry is already hard enough since you sweat so much. Oh my god. Lose some weight, okay? Do you know how much we spend on feeding you alone each month? Oh my god. This poor guy. Sakuma slammed his teacup down on the desk. He'd reached the limits of his patience. No, Yui, we need to talk. Sit down. We're sitting down. Listen up, you two. Sakuma pressed down on his temples again as he wondered where to begin. It felt like his headache was getting worse. But in the end, he couldn't come up with any ideas except to say it directly. Can you two act a little more like kids? Huh? The two of them looked at him as if he didn't know what he was talking about. Nono, what's your hobby? What's this all about? Just answer me. What's your hobby? Cleaning my room. And you, Yui? Collecting supermarket sales pamphlets. So here's the thing. I'm technically plugged in when it comes to my internet, but I'm on the second floor. The router is down on the main floor, so there is no way for me not to use Wi-Fi. Basically, we have what's it called, Amy? A Google. We have a mesh network, so we have the mesh network go to this thing, and then I plug in directly from that. Usually works fine, but I guess just lately we've been having a few issues. The two of them kept eating their pear slices, unsure of what he was getting at. And then they continued their conversation, saying, "What's his problem? It must be terrible getting old." Sit down. Sit. We are sitting. Why are you two acting like housewives at your age? Sales? Food budgets? Is that what kids are supposed to talk about? It was your idea to put us in charge of the chores. Kurisu ran the Alba Dorm's budget, and Yui helped her. I'm telling you to have a little more fun. Go to concerts. Buy clothes. What? I don't need to. I can listen to music on the internet. And I get all my clothes at the flea markets. When I can't find ones I like, I make them myself. You're both too perfect. You'll never get boyfriends like this. Okay. Okay, last got Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Kirby Planet Robobot, Radiant Story, and Stretch Mo. Previously got DQ78 and Crash Mo. Nice. Those are good choices. I don't think there's any construction going on in the area. It's hard to say, but there's definitely nothing in in our direct area unless there's somewhere around town. I'm not interested in the immature boys in my class. And everyone idolizes Big Sis Nono in middle school. Do they? Of course, Yui nodded. Yui went to Hekiho Academy's middle school, which was located close to the academy itself. The high school and middle school did a lot of activities together, and Kurisu had gone to the latter before as part of her student council president job. Kurisu chuckled. In high school, they mostly seemed scared. In high school, they mostly seemed scared of me. You don't even have a boyfriend? I've never heard you talking about guys. I'm not interested in the immature boys in my class. Okay, that's good. What? The boys in your class are the same way? Boys our age are the same no matter how old they are. Kurisu sipped her tea with a smirk. You and your brother complex. Then she spit it out like she'd been struck with a bullet. And she's choking. Big Sis Nono, are you okay? You, get me a tissue. Okay. If my middle school experience is any indication, she's not wrong. Yeah. Kurisu coughed as she took the tissue from Yui, then wiped down the desk. Don't be weird. Her face was bright red as she yelled at Sakuma. You care too much about Takaru. No other boys will go after you if you act like that. That's not true. I mean, they aren't, but... Kurisu waved her hand, annoyed. Anyway, he's... Big Sis Nono? Kurisu threw the tissue in the garbage can without answering. What about you, Yudo? I remember Yui saying something about a girl named Kono in your class. That's not true. I mean, it is true, but now it was Yudo's turn to turn red. That's right. What happened with that? It was a love letter, right? No secrets, remember? Tell me. Yudo shrank back into his chair, his tiny body becoming even smaller. Then he nodded. Yui leaned forward, excited. What's going on? We're seeing the home life of Nono right now and the other adopted kids. Or not adopted, but orphanage kids. These two. And? So one of the classic things they teach in networking is that things like baby monitors interfere with 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Not sure if you're using one, Derek, but devices like that cause havoc on some farm. It doesn't usually. It's not a common thing. And Amy was able to stream just fine last night, so I don't think that's it. No. Is it even on? Okay, good. I forgot to turn it on. Oh, we were dropping frames earlier and having issues, Kobama. It's mostly fixed now, I think. Tokuda found out and Yui's expression switched from jovial to serious. What? Did he tease you? After a short pause, Yudo nodded. You need to speak up when someone upsets you. If you get used to being bullied, it eventually messes you up. Yeah. But if he teases you again, tell your big sister. I'll get him back. Yui, a girl shouldn't talk like that. You're one to talk. I use OBS and she uses Streamlabs. So, they're basically the same. What does that mean? There were 2 rules in Alba Dorm. After dinner, everyone would gather around the table to talk, and no one was allowed to keep secrets. When Sakuma decided to open an orphanage after the earthquake, he first picked the name Alba Dorm, and the second thing he decided on were those rules. The 4 of them talked until around 10 p.m. when Yudo started to yawn. Telling each other about their daily lives was how they kept themselves grounded. I'm coming in. Kurisu entered the empty room, knowing there wouldn't be an answer. She started by wiping down the desk, then moved on to do the rest of the cleaning the same way she always did. Nothing had changed in the room since Miyashiro had left. It was still filled with books, papers, and DVDs. Home was the place where Kurisu felt the most calm and relaxed. It was where she could be herself and be with her family. Her favorite time of the day was after dinner. It wasn't that she was uncomfortable at Hekiho, but her personality was such that she always felt like she had to put her job first. And she liked the role she had at home with her family more than she liked the role she had in the outside world. As she cleaned the bookshelf, she saw a scrapbook. She'd seen it many times before, but she put it on the desk and started to flip through the pages. Takaru. The book was filled with information on urban legends and crimes that had taken place in Shibuya, and on the last page was a collection of magazine and newspaper articles. The magazine article was dated about 6 months ago, just before Miyashiro had left home. And the newspaper article was from 6 years ago. It was about the Shibuya earthquake. This was why Miyashiro had left home and gone to live at Miyashito Park. Oh, weird. That's so weird that we're actually seeing him. So used to not seeing our character. The dates match exactly with the dates of the murder 6 years ago. They may be set up to look like suicides, but they're every bit as weird as the old killings. He is going to die. Something might be coming for him, or maybe Takaru was getting involved in something. As his older sister, she had to protect her little brother. But can I? Can I face what happened 6 years ago? There was a knock at the door. She tried to take a few deep breaths to calm herself before she spoke. Who's there? It's me. I'm coming in. Why do you look like you're about to cry? Huh? She quickly put her hand up to her face. She wasn't crying. She took a quick breath to help her focus. What's wrong? You were acting a little weird during dinner. Was I? Sakuma looked at the scrapbook on the desk. Did he do something again? His voice was a father's. Kurisu put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Yeah, or no, I guess he hasn't yet, but he might soon. He hasn't changed a bit. After the cops took him in at the Love Hotel, you tried to get him to stop, right? Kurisu nodded, remembering what had happened in the hallway that day. But he doesn't seem like he's going to stop. That's rare. He usually does what you tell him. That's because I didn't really... What? What's wrong? Sakuma sensed that something was wrong with Kurisu and sat down on the bed. He motioned for her to speak. Excuse me, yawn. He motioned for her to speak. Dad, how did he start opening up to me? I mean, the rest of the family. You know, when he woke up from his coma and started his rehabilitation, he would barely talk to us he would barely talk to us at all, right? That was true of Yui and Yudo too, right? And you actually. We're not talking about me. I don't remember that far back. And is there ever really a single reason for things like that? But he crossed his arms and seemed to be trying to remember the past. Yeah, they mentioned before that after the Shibuya earthquake, Takaru ended up in a coma. Soon. I don't know when he started opening up, but I do remember the first day he ate dinner with us. Oh. Kurisu realized that she remembered too. Even after he'd started his physical therapy and learned to walk again, for a while he kept eating dinner alone in this room. Sakuma had told him that everyone was supposed to meet and talk after dinner, but he'd used his poor health as an excuse to stay in his room. I remember that. What happened with that, actually? I think it was what you said. Huh? You remember how you helped with his physical therapy? You said he was part of this family, so you would take care of him. Yeah? Miyashiro had refused, but she told him there was no reason for him to be embarrassed now. She'd been in charge of cleaning his catheter when he was in a coma after all. And then you started spending even more time with him. You've had that brother complex of yours for a long time. I told you it's not like that. And then when he was finally able to do everything on his own, and you came to me and asked if it wasn't time for him to go to school, do you remember what you said? Kurisu tried to think, but she couldn't remember herself saying anything special. I guess he didn't go to school a lot before, but I'll make it so he can. If anyone bullies him, I'll get them back. You're kidding. She didn't remember that at all. It's true. Remember what Yui just said? She definitely got that from you. You used to have an even sharper tongue than you do now. And he wasn't in the room, but he heard you say that. And that was the day he started eating with us. Oh, we got a VIP request from Simidon. Let's take care of that real quick. 1 second. Congratulations. Let's see. There you are. Our 20th VIP. Alright. What was your question, Kubama? Oh, what happened to the stream? I just had internet issues. That's all. Wasn't anything fancy or anything like that. I just started dropping frames and whatnot. I don't know. It helps you get recognized a bit more. We've dropped a few frames here and there, but nothing to affect anything, thankfully. Well, he still didn't go to school all that much, but even if he spent most of his time in the nurse's office, it was still thanks to you that he was able to graduate. As she listened to Sakuma's words, she could feel the terror that had been building inside her start to fade away. Instead, she felt a mixture of confidence, nostalgia, and joy. Did I say that? Big sis Nono? What are you doing? What about you two? What are you doing? You was going to the bathroom, but then we heard you talking. I see. She smiled a little at Yudo's embarrassment. He couldn't go to the bathroom on his own at night. He'd always been shy and spent most of his time clinging to Yui, but the earthquake had given him mild scotophobia too. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Scotophobia is the fear of darkness. I see. Good to know. Hey, Oscar. How's it going? And Simidon's back to 32 whole channel points once again. Congrats. Hey, do you two want Takaru to come back? Of course. We're a family. Yeah. And we're doing all the cleaning that was Big Bro Takaru's job. And the shopping, too. Oh, that too. I forgot. Kurisu laughed and looked around at her missing brother's room, at her family. There was no changing what happened 6 years ago now. Yui? If anybody's mean to Yudo, you get them back. Oh yeah, of course. She would just have to protect her family so that they could live together again. Kurisu took out her smartphone and left the room, leaving her uncertainty behind. Okay then. The heck? Are they gone? Sarika was sitting with her legs crossed on the cold floor, looking up at me. What the heck is happening? Soy Sauce saying, one thing I really like about Taku's depiction shown a bit in that segment is that it does not give a pass on his behavior at all. It negatively affects those around him throwing away a loving family. His depiction is less so the game saying, whoa, he's so special, look how cool and right he is, and is more an observation on the consequence of his toxic behavior. It's a science adventure staple. The Takaru is probably the second most extreme in the series. Only the second most extreme? Holy crap. I put my ear up to the door and tried to see if there was anyone outside. It's safe. No one's there. Then let's give up and go home. My butt's starting to hurt. How about I give you a little lecture? A few years ago I saw this. I think it was on the news. There was a guy who was in a bathroom and the lock broke, and he got stuck inside for 2 days. When they saved him, they asked him what it was like to be locked in a room for 2 days, and he said, I'm glad there was a toilet. There's two of us in here. There's two of us in here, so I can't go to the bathroom. Damn it, she was right for once. She's right more often than you give her credit for, dude. But she was right. I was reaching my mental limits too. It was past 10 now, which meant we spent more than 2 hours locked inside the bathroom. We were on the 5th floor of the AH Tokyo General Hospital in the women's toilet near the lobby. Okay, what led to this? We'd learned in the club room this morning that the creator of the sumo stickers was here. Sarika and I had come to the hospital right after that. Each floor of the hospital had different sections, and each section had its own lobby, so we were able to go around to each floor and gather information by talking to the people there. Well, it was mostly Sarika who did the talking. And then we heard that there was someone in a private room in the back of the 5th floor who drew a lot of creepy pictures. I got excited. The person drawing the pictures might know something. But there was a problem, namely the ward they were staying in. There were 2 wards on the 5th floor. The first was the gastroenterological ward, straight down the hall from the lobby. But to get to the place where we wanted to go, you had to take a right from the lobby and go into the psych ward. To meet with patients in the psych ward, you needed permission from the patient and the hospital. If you weren't there to meet someone, you wouldn't even be allowed in. Yep. Good night, Oscar. Take care. While we were sitting in the lobby trying to come up with a plan, visiting hours for the psych ward ended. Then hours for the gastroenterological ward ended too, and we had no good excuse for being there any longer. And that's how we got to where we are now. What did Ito notice? That's what I want to know. Stop being in the bathroom and tell us what happened with Ito. If I hadn't taken Sarika's advice and chosen to hide in the women's restroom, where the stalls were inevitably in use more often, someone would have gotten suspicious of us a long time ago. No, maybe they were already suspicious. Damn it, I wanted to get some more information before we left. When Ito saw the pair in the pictures at the club room, he proposed we start investigating them immediately. But I decided to temporarily leave that to him and visit the hospital. I didn't tell Ito where I was going or why. If he knew I was putting a priority on verifying information on a homepage run by a crazy man with no sources even given, he'd make fun of me. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That's why I wanted to find something. My phone suddenly started to vibrate. Kurisu? I frowned when I saw the name. Damn, and at a time like this too. Taku? You're not going to answer it, Sarika seemed to say silently. I decided to ignore the phone call. You're sure? I don't exactly have a choice. I'm sure if I answered it, she'd just be annoying again. Whatever it was, chances are it wasn't something I wanted to hear, and I couldn't exactly hold a conversation right now. Oh. Another delusion. 2 hours, huh? I didn't know being quiet and doing nothing was so tiring. So if I had to guess, the positive delusion is shenanigans with Sarika again. And if we went negative, it'd be someone found them and tried to kill him. And yes, I'm playing off the switch. Sarika had her arms crossed over her knees. She looked upset. Was I imagining it, or had she been really fidgety over the last 10 minutes? It's weird. I never thought I'd be spending hours in a girl's bathroom stall with you at this age. Don't say that. Just hang in there a little longer. I can if you want. But I don't think there's much of a point to this. Serica sighed a little. I looked away from her. I was starting to fidget a little, maybe because we'd been talking about going to the bathroom. Oh God, I don't even want to know where that would have led. Okay, let's go, Taku. We can come back tomorrow. Serica stood up and rubbed her butt a little. It doesn't bother you? Huh? This was the hospital we'd snuck into a long time ago, looking for an urban legend called Amy. In the end, we had to give up before we could figure it out. But if there was some connection between the sumo stickers and this hospital, sure, it bothers me. If we can find something, I'd like to. But don't you think that it's a better idea to give up now than come back tomorrow during visiting hours and wait for another chance? Meh. Well, yeah. If we leave now, as long as they don't catch us on this floor, we can just walk straight out, right? This place had an ER, so it was open at night, and people would be going in and out. As long as we could get to the first floor lobby safely, we'd be able to walk right out. Damn it, maybe we didn't have a choice. Amy's a legend, yes. Fine, let's just... My phone vibrated again. Again? Wait. I thought it was Kurisu calling me again, but it wasn't. I checked once again that there was no one in the restroom and answered the phone. Hello? Hey, Miyashiro, where are you right now? What's wrong? The vice president wants us to stop chasing the case. She's pissed. Seriously? She asked me what you two are doing right now, or more like she screamed at me. It was scary. You didn't. Yeah, Ito said. I told her everything, and then she said I needed to take down the camera. Then she changed her mind and said she was going to do it herself and hung up. What? Why didn't you keep your mouth shut? You know that's impossible, man. Damn it, that coward. Well, I knew how he felt. Anyway, I told her there was something else that you were interested in, and that you'd gone with Onoe to look into it. I don't know what you're doing, but apologize before she kills you, and answer the phone when she calls. He hung up before I could say anything. It was clear that he wanted to stay out of this. With nothing else to do, I put away my phone. So, Non's feeling better. Good. Serica looked happy. She must have overheard the conversation. No, it's not good. But that's just like her. Serica nodded to herself, satisfied. She really did look happy. Whose side are you on? Yours, Taku. You don't want Non to be sad, do you? Well, no, never mind. Taku, we're leaving? Just so we're clear, I'm not giving up. I just didn't feel like I was going to find out anything more by staying here. I just come back tomorrow during visiting hours. And dodge Kurisu somehow. Okay. There was no one around. The nurse at the nurse's station was staring at her PC. If we crouched down, she couldn't see us. I motioned to Serica and we quietly left the bathroom and started for the lobby. We made it across and arrived in front of the elevator. Playing another game with stealth sections. Who knew? I looked ahead and saw an automatic door with thick frosted glass. The psych ward lay beyond it. Next to it was a control terminal with an intercom. When visiting, you would say your name and have them unlock the door from the inside. Damn it. During visiting hours, I'd been sitting in the lobby waiting for the automatic doors to open. I tried to see if there was a way to sneak in alongside another visitor, but I ran out of time before I'd gotten a chance. Taku, there's nothing we can do. Let's come back. Serica must have noticed me staring at it because she motioned for me to leave. Yeah. She was right. If we use the elevator, they might notice the sound. We just have to take the stairs. Okay.
Huh?
Taku? Serica stopped just before she reached the stairs. Just now. Huh? Since Derek is reading the stealth mission failed and then there's found us exactly. I heard a beeping noise come from the automatic door. Someone was coming out? I dragged Serica out onto the landing for the stairs. That was weird. I didn't hear any footsteps. Huh? Wasn't that interesting? Huh? No way. I took a look around the corner and saw that the door was open. Why? It was definitely open, and there was no sign that anyone had come out. I could see deeper into the ward now that the frosted glass was out of the way. The hallway was dark, and it was long past lights out. Why? Why had it opened? Was it set to open automatically from the inside, and someone had walked close enough to trip the sensor? I hadn't seen anyone pass by. Taku! I nodded back to Serica as she pointed down the stairs. Someone was coming up. What should we do? There wasn't enough time for the elevator to get here. The lobby was out of the question. Should we go upstairs? Or would we be safe if we just walked downstairs and acted like nothing was wrong? The dark hallway seemed to be beckoning to me. There were no guards and nurses around it. Takaru, you aren't any different from anyone else. You're just a teenage boy. Has to be different. I grabbed Serica's hand and ran straight for the open door. I don't know what's going on, but this is our chance. Let's go. Serica was behind me, so I couldn't tell if she nodded or not. I ran faster so I wouldn't have to hear my heart pounding, and a moment later, we were inside the psych ward. As I listened to the door shut behind me, I moved up next to the wall and took a look around. It was too dark to see all the way to the end of the hallway, but there didn't seem to be anyone there. The green light of the emergency exit reflected off the floor, bathing us in dim light. Taku, your hand. I realized that I was still holding Serica's hand. I quickly let go and she turned her hand toward the wall. Look. Oh. She was pointing at a simple map of the ward. It showed the nurse's station, the exam rooms, and what were probably the numbers for the patient's rooms. I'm getting some Silent Hill vibes right now, I gotta say. Oh, good night, Cat Evie. Take care. The person who drew those pictures was in a private room in the far back, right? Serica nodded. But the map didn't say if the rooms were singles or not. I looked at the doors in front of me. They were plates with what looked like two patient names. These rooms were doubles, which meant that any room with the same layout was also probably a double. I looked back at the map. Where were the private rooms? I found them, right here. Damn, they really are in the back. That way? Serica pointed further down the hall. With Serica behind me, I turned to the side and started to walk as quietly as I could. That weird scent unique to hospitals was stinging my nose. I was used to it, but it was still a little creepy. And it was too quiet. If this was a psych ward, I expected to hear some crazy screaming or something. No, that's just prejudice. Even if it's a sealed ward, most of the patients here are probably just old people with Alzheimer's. You wouldn't expect the patients to be screaming 24 hours a day, especially after lights out. But what was with the air here? No, it didn't matter. It was just another dim hallway. I wasn't going to the scene of the crime this time. Oh, and then I realized. Come to think of it, when I'd gone inside the Love Hotel, I'd first tried to get past the door, then almost given up. I turned around and saw the empty hallway stretching out before me past a confused Serica. The automatic door was on the other side of the corner. The door opened on its own then, too. That's right. The door to the hotel had opened on its own, just like the automatic door here. The police had told me I'd been mistaken, but maybe it was really... Taku? What's wrong? Nothing. I realized that I'd stopped moving. Crap, was that a nurse? This way. Oh, there was blood in Matsushita's IV. What? Again? Did it come out? Well, you see, I could hear what sounded like two nurses in the hallway. Did they find us? No. I listened carefully. They seemed to be talking about a patient. Good, they hadn't found us. We would have to stay here until they left. Hey, Taku, actually... When we snuck in last time, do you remember where we went? I took my ear off the door. Of course I remember. No, actually, I don't remember where exactly. I tried to think back to what I'd seen so many times in the dream. It was 8 or 9 years ago now. About that long ago, I was still in elementary school. But I don't think it was a psych ward. I couldn't remember how we got in exactly, but I didn't remember sneaking through an automatic door. And that wasn't the kind of treatment you'd see in a psych ward. Actually, I don't think you could even call that treatment, whatever it was. What's wrong? I was about to ask before I saw her face and realized what was wrong. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm okay. She clearly wasn't okay. Did she remember what happened before? Come to think of it, actually, she tried to act strong and failed last time too. We're not doing anything big here. We just get information from the artist and go home. That's all, right? The nurses must have finished talking because I could hear the footsteps getting further away. Okay. Excuse me. Serica slapped her cheeks with her hands to try and snap herself out of it. Let's go, Taku. Yeah. When we got to the room, the dim light of the emergency exit lamp was shining down on it. Here? I nodded. This was probably the place. It was a private room in the back, and there were no nameplates on the other private rooms we passed. I'm opening the door. There was no time to hesitate. We could run into a nurse at any moment. I looked to the left and right and checked that there was no one there before opening the door. This seems like an extraordinarily bad idea. It was a dark room with no lights. There was enough light to see my hands, but not my feet. Is there no one here? The bed against the wall was empty. The blanket was rolled up. A closed bathroom stall is one of the creepiest things without ever trying. I mean, right? Serica looked over to see if I saw. Was this not the place? Maybe I'll check the other rooms. I went to leave when Serica grabbed my arm. What? Taku, look.
Eh?
Huh? Sarika pointed at the back wall of the room. Her hand was shaking a little. It was too dark to see. I softly crept forward to get a better look. Oh. What is this? The whole wall. The whole wall was covered with drawings of the sumo sticker in what looked like red paint. I feel sick. Sarika grabbed onto my arm. The warmth reminded me that I wasn't alone. That made me feel just a little better. If I'd seen this alone, I might have screamed and gone crazy. What's this smell? I noticed that there was an unpleasant scent coming from the red paint on the wall. Well, that's definitely blood. I took another step forward, and then I realized. I put my hand in front of my mouth to stifle a scream. And then another hand in front of Sarika's mouth to stop her from screaming too. What's wrong? Sarika ripped my hand away from her mouth and clung to me tighter. This isn't paint. Huh? It's blood. This strange smell, like rust, was the same thing I'd smelled at the Love Hotel during the revolving dead incident. Who had drawn these? Who would draw something like this and in blood? I imagined someone locked in a dim room, endlessly drawing paintings in blood on a blank wall, and a shiver went down my spine. I got goosebumps all over my whole body. This place is dangerous. There is something very wrong with this room. Taku, what are you doing? Huh? I suddenly realized I was holding a smartphone in my quavering hand. And without even realizing it, I'd pushed the record button and started filming the drawings on the wall. No, this isn't the time for this. Let's go, okay? Sarika tried to drag me back. Yeah, but my body wouldn't move. I knew it was dangerous to stay here, but I couldn't move. Sarika was saying something behind me, but while I could hear the sounds, I couldn't understand what they meant. And then... I heard a sound from somewhere in the dark room. You know what? I'm going to throw out a theory here. Time to bring out Amy's hamster on a wheel. I don't know what the connection is or anything like that, but just the way he describes these moments when he's in here, I think he's under the same control as from the guy we first saw get murdered when the game began. Because something is dulling his senses and forcing him to go forward. I don't know whether it's the same thing as the beginning, where there was some sort of hold on him or something like that. But these reactions and these happenings definitely make it seem very similar to that. I heard a sound from somewhere in the dark room. It was the sound of someone scratching something. I gulped, and my body froze up even more. Taku? I heard a sound somewhere. Who's there? Someone was in here with us. Someone was in this room. 556, I think that would make him an unreliable narrator, kind of, except he's always with Sarika. So, again, to pull a bit of an Amy thing where she's suspicious of everybody. Sorry, Amy. I wonder if Sarika is part of this somehow. In the darkness, I could hear the sound of something hard being scratched again. But the sound bounced off the walls of the square room, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I desperately searched around the room, eyes cloudy with terror. Oh, jeez. Another girl. How long had they been there? A girl was crouching on the floor alone with her back to us. She was right next to the bloody sumos, a hand wrapped around her knees, and she was staring at her feet. She was staring at a drawing of a sumo sticker. It was too dark to tell for sure, but I thought I saw something dripping off her finger. That was blood. She'd cut her finger to draw that. She was drawing those pictures. I couldn't speak. My throat wouldn't work. I had questions to ask her. Who are you? Did you draw all the stickers all over town? Why are you drawing those? But I just couldn't speak. The strange sight before me filled me with an indescribable terror. I get the feeling it's indicating that she does this like one a night or something like that online. Like it's not one of those things where it's like done it all in one night, I assume? I was overcome by the idea that if I talked to her now, if she turned around, she would transform into something else and attack me. I heard my name and turned towards Sarika. Her hand was clutching my arm tightly. What's wrong? Run away? Why did you sound so scared? Why? Can't you see? Shaking, I pointed at the girl on the floor. But... Huh? There was no one there. I was standing in the middle of the hospital room, shaking, and staring at the drawings of the sumo sticker design on the wall. My hand had numbly lowered, and my smartphone was recording only my crotch. Are you okay? Sarika looked at me worried. What happened to that girl? Girl? What are you talking about? She was just there, right? But there was no one in the direction I was pointing. Just eerie pictures in an empty room. Oh no, don't scare me like that. Then that was just a delusion? It's not like we haven't had those before. Or maybe whoever had drawn the bloody pictures on the wall was already dead. But some trace of their spirit was bound into those paintings and trapped inside the room. No, that was way too paranormal for me. It was impossible. But I couldn't get the image of the crouching girl I thought I had seen out of my mind. Nono, let's go. This probably isn't a good place. Probably? Yeah. I took Sarika's hand and slowly started to walk backwards. It felt like if I made a sound, all of the eyes of the sumos drawn on the wall would open and stare at me. We made it back to the door and jumped out into the hallway. Whew, that was something. That was scary. Come here. You can do that later. Call the doctor too. Something might have happened. I could hear frantic voices down the hallway. Oh no. The hospital staff must have heard my scream. They probably thought something had happened to a patient. They were going to find us. Huh? Did I just hear a sound from the emergency exit? Taku, here, it's open. Sarika jumped onto the door. Huh? Hurry! Yeah. I'm starting to wonder about Sarika. We'll see how this continues, but I like Sarika, but well, did you find anything? Everything's normal. What do you think happened? I could faintly hear the voices of the nurses running back and forth across the hallway. Evidently, they hadn't found us. We're saved, right? I could hear Sarika take a sigh of relief in the darkness. Yeah. I used the light from my phone to look around. We were on the landing of a staircase. This was probably the emergency stairs. We could probably get down from here. Sarika looked down, illuminating the stairs with her own phone. Why? Huh? Why was it open? Because it's the emergency exit, right? But this is a sealed ward, right? If they were keeping the automatic door locked, there was no way they wouldn't lock the emergency exit. They probably forgot to lock it. Did they? Could we really get that lucky? And I was sure I'd heard a sound. Taku, forget that. We need to get out of here. Sarika pointed down the stairs. Yeah, you're right. I used the light from my phone to look at the knob of the emergency door. Good. It was the type that opened from the inside. The other doors probably were too. Let's go down and look for an exit. Okay. Taku, those pictures on the wall. Yeah. Sarika was probably thinking the same thing I was. What, was that where the creator of the sumo stickers was kept? Or someone who had something to do with the case? But in the end, I had no answer. There was a whole wall of sumo sticker images drawn in someone's blood. That was the only information we had. Sarika seemed to understand that as well because she didn't ask any more questions. Good, it opened. I unlocked the door and quietly opened it, then peered down the hallway beyond. Ugh. Oh, hey, these two. Right, that old woman, and that's the girl that he saw. I recognize the hairstyle. And she was putting up the stickers in that other scene. So what's up with this girl? I ducked without even thinking. I placed my hand on the open door to support myself and then quickly yanked my body back inside toward the stairs. Why? What were those two doing here? There was no mistaking it. Those were the two that Ito had noticed in the club room this morning. Oh! So that's what Ito discovered. Sarika stuck her head out just a little and saw them too. She dropped down. I put my hand over her mouth before she could finish. I know, so don't make any noise. Why were they here? Was there some connection between them and the sumo stickers after all? I could hear footsteps. Theirs. I couldn't move. They'd hear me. I froze and concentrated on what I was hearing. Good. They were heading further away. Of course. Oh. Oh no. Not good, not good. This is not good. They were getting closer. Who were those two? What were they doing here? This is bad. Maybe the killers behind this case are... There's a chance that something really bad could happen. Taku? They're going to kill us? For a moment, I felt incredibly cold, like my whole body had gotten smaller. The hand I was holding against the door was slippery with sweat. My heart was pounding loudly and it hurt to breathe. No, no! Suddenly, my frozen body was yanked upward. I stumbled and tripped, then was yanked up again. This way. Just as Sarika kicked open some kind of door and dragged me through, I saw them pick up my phone. Well, that's not good. Oh man, Rob Harley, your dad came out of the hospital the other day after a month in there? Oh, I'm glad they're home. My gosh. Hope they're okay. We're okay now, right? Let's rest a little. I collapsed right onto the ground. I wanted to catch my breath, but it wasn't working. My legs were shaking from exhaustion, and my hands were shaking from the still... My legs were shaking from exhaustion, and my hands were shaking from the still lingering terror. It's okay. They aren't following us, I think. It was all I could do to muster a feeble nod. I had no idea why, but my hands shaking made me really mad. I slammed them into the asphalt. Damn it. How? What were they doing there? And now they had my smartphone with all its data. I think they have something to do with the sumo stickers. Yeah. It couldn't be a coincidence. Hey, I got a call. Shin-chan? Hello? It's Onoe. What's wrong? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. My breathing had calmed down. I'm glad to hear that, Rob. Really glad to hear that. I needed to get my thoughts in order. The phone had a lock on it. They wouldn't be able to do anything with it immediately. It was clear that the sumo stickers were involved somehow. In particular, that wall filled with sumo stickers where nothing's happened yet bothers me. Come to think of it, Kurisu said she was going to take down the security camera. What happened with that? Taku. Terika turned around, moving very slowly. What's wrong? What did that expression mean? Sarika looked away from me for a moment, then back as if afraid of something painful. Oh my god. Nan was stabbed. The heck? Where'd that come from? Oh. Big brother Takaru. Where's Kurisu? Yui pointed towards the exam room in the bath with a pained expression on her face. I'm guessing in the back is what it meant. Damn it. This can't be happening. Kurisu? What? Again? Why, no, forget that. Kurisu, where's Kurisu? Be quiet. This is a hospital, remember? Huh. Was she okay? Takaru? What? Take off your shoes. Huh? Oh, sorry. I'd forgotten to take them off when I came in, so I quickly yanked them off my feet. What? No, I could see a bandage through the gaps in her pajamas. Oh, this? Kurisu lifted up her shirt just a little to show me her stomach. It was wrapped in a thick bandage. 13 stitches. It's nothing bad. Well, that's out of nowhere. You! I felt a dull pain in my face. I collapsed to the ground and then he grabbed me by the shirt and lifted me back up. What the hell do you think you're doing? Stop it, Kawahara. I don't know if you think you're Sherlock Holmes or something, but this happened because you've been screwing around. She could have died, you know. He pushed me away violently. My face stung from the punch. Hey, young man, is this my beer? Yes. Supposedly there's a lot of other stuff in it too. Oh, thanks. Hey, Jason Rocks. Again, thank you. Kawahara, can you help him carry it to his house? Huh? No, but... Please? Fine. Kawahara glared at me for a minute, then picked up the cardboard box and left. Oh, Taku. Gen, why? Oh, well, you know. Take care, Missy. Yes, you too, Gen. He's always so easygoing, isn't he? Why, I mean, no. What happened? Are you okay? Kurisu's hand slowly stretched down to the wound on her stomach. Gen happened to be passing by and he saved me. He caught the person who stabbed me. That camera you planted, or I guess it was Ito, actually. That's... It doesn't matter. When I was taking down the camera, this strange person started talking to me. They said something about the place of a holy barrier. I didn't understand what they meant. And then they got really close to me all of a sudden. And then stabbed her? Yeah, sheesh. I wonder where they even sell knives like that. Her voice was far more cheerful than I expected it to be. For some reason, that made everything suddenly seem real. Kurisu had really been stabbed. And then what happened? I hit them and ran away, of course. Gen happened to be passing by and he caught them, and then we called 110. Takaru? Is your wound okay? It just took a little bit of the side of my stomach. My organs are all fine. I'm okay. Oh, Miyashiro. You're here, huh? It's been a while. Yeah. Where are Gen and young Kawahara? I had them leave. And that gift? I gave it to him, and I had Kawahara carry it. I see, Dad said as he scratched his head. It really had been a while since I'd seen his face, not since I left the dorm. Sakuma, I'll be on my way. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry for the trouble Nono caused. No, Kurisu is always a big help to us. Bye, Kurisu. Take care. Thank you. I'm sorry for the trouble. They're treating this very casually. Oh, right. If you're here too, Miyashiro, this is good timing. The teacher turned around and scratched his head the same way my dad did. This is a little hard to tell you, and it's not entirely your fault, but the newspaper club is probably going to have to be shut down now. I nodded weakly. It didn't seem like there was anything else I could do. Well, you know, just think of this as a good lesson. Oh, maybe that's rude. In other words... Sir? Right. Thank you. Kurisu made a motion to shoo him away. Right. Kurisu suddenly sighed. Oh, I'm tired. Even the teachers are afraid of you. No, he's always like that. Dad, I'm going to rest upstairs after all. Are you okay? You can stay here until we open tomorrow. The pain's not as bad now. I'd feel better in my own bed. What did they give you at the hospital when they brought you in? Ferropenem and loxoprofen. I took a little more than a typical dose. You can't have any, okay? I'm not stealing your medicine. Jeesh. Tell me right away if you get a fever. Whew. Kurisu slowly got up. I could see her holding herself with her hands to avoid putting pressure on her stomach. Kurisu, I'm sorry, Takaru, stay here tonight. I knew her wounds had to hurt, but she was acting completely normal. That just made me feel even more depressed. I said yes in a voice so small even I could barely hear it. Whew. I'm fine. Don't stare at me like that. Oh, no. Kurisu slowly laid down on her bed. I told her I would help her get up to the 3rd floor, but she said it would just make it harder for her to walk. Consequences for his actions, let's go. Yeah, just random stabbing apparently. Very odd. At least I could bring the blanket all the way up to her shoulders. Thanks. This really feels strange, you know. Huh? I'm not used to being the one someone else is taking care of. Oh, make sure you put some ice on that. Kurisu pointed to my cheek. She must have been talking about where Kawahara hit me. Excuse me. You shouldn't be worrying about other people right now. And it was my fault that this had happened. Listen, just so we're clear. Kurisu tried to raise her head up, but her wound must have hurt her because she grimaced and laid back down. The bear with Nono on its ears. Wow. This isn't your fault. Getting stabbed is my own responsibility. But if I hadn't put up that camera, that certainly wasn't a very good idea, but this wasn't something you could have predicted, was it? Oh, Jason Rocks, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub going to Boo Scary Helicopter. Thank you so much. Oh, you can have the camera back. Did Yui put it around somewhere? I looked around the room and saw there was a paper bag on the desk. The camera I'd had Ito set up was inside. There was some damage on a corner. It must have been dropped when she was stabbed. What was the guy who stabbed you like? It was too dark to see well, but I think it was a man in his 20s or 30s. Sorry, can you turn off the lights? It's really bright if you're lying face up. Oh. I turned off the lights. Kurisu sighed to calm herself down. After Gen caught him, he was screaming until the police got there. You fools didn't notice the alarm I sounded on the internet. I am the holy messenger of the victim, so don't touch me. That kind of stuff. I suddenly realized that reminded me of something. It was the same with that stuff about a barrier that Kurisu was saying downstairs. Could he be the guy who made that page? The police said they'd come and ask me a bunch of questions tomorrow. I think I'll learn more then. It felt like her voice was shaking a little. Kurisu? It's nothing. I'm fine. It was too dark to see clearly, but I could tell that she had her hand on her face. I finally realized that she was holding back tears. I swore at myself. Of course she was, damn it. She'd been stabbed in the stomach. Of course she was scared. Neither of us said anything for a while. I couldn't bring myself to say another word. Nothing I said would be right, and it felt like it would hurt her. I couldn't see her face. I didn't know if she was crying. But even if she wasn't crying, she may as well have been. Takaru? I don't know how long I was silent. My eyes had finally gotten used to the dark by the time she whispered. Yuto got a love letter, he says. From Kono. Do you remember her? I didn't. I tried to remember, but maybe she wasn't expecting an answer. They've been in the same class since 5th grade. Yuto was out sick once and she brought him the day's handouts. She wears glasses. One of the boys in class made fun of him, he says. And then Yui. And then she started to go on, in a quiet voice. She told me that Dad had been busy lately. That he was being as obnoxious as ever. That she'd ordered him to stop drinking for a week today. That Yui was still afraid of men, but that she'd made friends with a boy in her class. That Yuto wasn't getting any taller. He said it didn't bother him, but it obviously did. That the air conditioner in the living room wasn't working well, and she and Yui had cut Dad's allowance to buy a new one. That and the two of them were saving up their allowance too. That the old woman who was a regular at Alba Clinic, the one who taught Kurisu how to sew, wasn't doing so well lately. That she'd mixed up a clothes hanger with a clothespin and one of the patients had laughed at her. I listened to her for a long time, only speaking occasionally. Her voice gradually got softer, and eventually I realized she was talking in her sleep. Then I realized something. So that's it. Kurisu was telling me everything that had happened here in the half year I'd been gone. What had happened at home. What Dad and Yui and Yuto had been up to. She'd been saying all this because she wanted me to know. And then... As I waited for her to finish her sentence, I could hear her soft breathing. She'd fallen asleep. I slowly stood up, careful not to make a sound. I adjusted the blanket over her once more and went to leave. If you're still thinking about chasing that case... She was probably talking in her sleep. I heard the rest as I left the room, and I understood what she was saying all too well. All right. I think that's a good place to stop. Got a scene change and whatnot. Obviously not done with this whole thing, but I don't know how much longer this can go, and it's already midnight. So we're going to save. Definitely some wild events. Also, it feels like we're probably getting close to the end of the chapter. I have no idea. Pretty wild, though. Soy Sauce saying with a comment saying, beneath all the narcissistic BS Takaru spouts out, he does deep down care about his family. It just took a circumstance like this where someone other than him got hurt for him to reflect. One of those too little too late scenarios. He doesn't deflect nor complain. He accepts everything said to him and lets Nono say everything she wants to say. Also, let me know if my explanation on scenes are too much. Don't want to backseat a game if that's going off the way. No, that makes all sense. I like hearing your insight into this. All right. But yeah, sorry for the frame issues, but we'll fix that up for the VOD so we don't have to worry about that. And we'll see how this all goes as we continue on. We're getting closer and closer to the 10th, but I'm actually surprised that the way it's going. The little curves here with that young girl and old woman, and then I honestly thought that the hidden camera would lead to something, but I don't know. Of course, we'll be back next Sunday for even more Chaos Child. We see what else is up to. What happens? I have a feeling, I thought it happened this time, but no, maybe next time we'll actually see what happens with this next murder. Because we know it's coming. It's definitely coming. And of course, tomorrow we'll be finishing up. Warrior World, and depending on how long that takes, we'll also be starting Outer Wilds. So we'll see how it all goes. But at the very least, Warrior World will be the Warrior World finale will be tomorrow, and that should be a fun time. We're gonna actually raid the Haunted Arcade. That is Elliot. That's Johnny's brother. Some call me Johnny's brother. That's his new stream channel. He redid it a bit, and so he has his own little thing going here. So playing Resident Evil 4. Don't know how far he is in it, so I'm probably not going to check in it too much. But we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I think I have all that set up. Classic Carnage, thank you so much. I hope you have a great night as well, and hope you all have a great week. And we will see you tomorrow for more Warrior World. Hopefully these drop frames issues doesn't happen, and of course next Sunday for that. As far as our hashtag, I mean, we got to go with a Resident Evil quote. What are you buying? I just met the merchant, so it's fresh in my head. All right. You all, thank you all once again for joining me. We will see you very soon for Warrior World, and next week for a more Chaos Child. Until then, everyone. Sorry, I'm struggling because my mouth is very dry. I have to have some more water. But yeah, see you all then. Take care and have a good one. Bye.